Hi, today I'm explaining about a very important principle for animation. Okay, this is bouncing ball action. Okay, so bouncing ball and pendulum, these are the two important exercises, assignments for any animator. Okay, so for any animation student, these are two important principles. First, we are planning bouncing ball principle. Actually, what is bouncing ball? See, bouncing ball is nothing but a rubber ball. Kids the play with this rubber ball. Okay, when you hit that on floor, it bounces according to your power. How much the strength power you can apply, that much height it can bounce. Okay, after bouncing 2, 3 or 4 according to that force, slowly the ball, suppose the ball is coming into that room, hits here on floor and again jumps into and again jumps and somewhere it will settle. Okay, that is a normal rubber ball. Actually this rubber ball, the bouncing action purely can depend on the inside air. So air fill the density of the ball. If you fill air, the full air, with full air, your ball, your rubber ball can jumps much height, this much. The ball is bit looser. Suppose the ball is the air, inside air, if you don't fill tightly with full air, means full air, the ball can bounce just this much and can roll out. Suppose if the ball you can fill tightly with the air, it bounces a lot. Heavy bounces can happen. So this bouncing ball, how you use in animation? What is the link between animation and bouncing ball? Okay, so with this bouncing ball we learn very important principles. Few principles we observe, we follow, we learn. Okay, so first let us check actually what is bouncing ball. This is already finished bouncing ball action. Let us check by pressing Ctrl and enter. Then if you observe this, the ball is entering into the room. This is your room. Okay, this is wall and this is floor. Coming outside, it is coming from outside, the ball starting place and hitting here and bouncing, and here one bounce, and after two bounces, 1, 2, 3, it is leaving the room. Okay, it purely depends on the inside air, the thickness and density of the air. Okay, if you fill more air, might be the ball bounces heavily than this one. Okay, so with this bouncing ball, what we are learning here? Okay, so I'll show you clearly one by one. See, with this bouncing ball action we are learning stretch and squash, timing and spacing, path of action. Okay, so stretch and squash, timing and spacing, and path of action, these are the things we learn from this bouncing ball action. Okay, first I'll explain you some theory behind this. Suppose unlock this, unlock this and get into that. Suppose not this one. Yes. See, separated in different layers. Let us check one by one. So this is my BZ anyway, background. You can fill with any color. Okay. And this is my path. Okay. And this is my text. And this is a name. Okay. Written script. Okay. And these are the ball actions. These are the ball action frames, all keyframes. Okay, this action actually, this bouncing ball action, it is possible with the normal twinning animation. Suppose the ball is bouncing from top to bottom vertically, okay, in 90 degrees. So it is very easy to do with the normal twinning animation. But here I'm explaining with a frame by frame animation, because we learn in Flash twinning animation in other ways also, but here I'm explaining clearly with the frame by frame animation, because frame by frame animation is very important. This is the classical method, the traditional approach. So each and every pose we have to draw here. Okay, so then the fluid kind of animation will get every time. For understanding of frame by frame animation, for the character animation, frame by frame animation, I'm giving this, I'm explaining this with the frame by frame animation only, not twinning animation. Twinning animation is very easy, because if you draw one frame and here one frame, between this and this, if you apply that twin from there to here, automatically continuously it moves. But here I want to make in a path. I want to make in a path. That too, I want to explain what is frame and in between and keyframe. For the purpose of frame by frame animation, here I am focusing on frame by frame action only, not that twinning animation. So simply some people, what they say, it is very easy to do with the twinning animation. That is true, but here my intention is I'm going to explain the concept about frame by frame animation. Okay, so that is the reason. These are all the frames. Each ball we have to draw and separate areas, and we have to match the volumes and sizes. Okay, everything. Let us check. First, for that, what I did, first you have to draw your path. Okay, suppose here path means what? Ball can travel only by this path. So is it compulsory? Yes, it is very important. For in fact, every human being, every animal, every birds, or any object, if you throw any object, it travel by its own path. Okay, and even if you move, if you walk, you must walk on a road or on grass or particular path, way. The path is here way. The same way all the birds can move in air by particular path. The same way the butterfly, animals can travel in a particular proper path. Okay, so the same way here objects also can move in a path. That is called path of action. In that direction only objects can move. even in animation also and in real time also. Okay, that is called path of action. So here I'm using 3 lines. Why 3 lines here? Because this and this is these 2 lines, these 2 black lines indicating the size of the ball, the volume of the ball, and the red line, the center line, indicating center position of the ball. To understand the ball center position, every time I mentioned with a red line. Okay, but somewhere here it is not touching the, when the ball is stretching here, it is not touching both side black lines, because here the ball is stretching backwards and forward, front and back, it is stretching. So it is stretching bit front and back, and top and bottom it's losing some space here. So because when you press the rubber balloon top and bottom, if you give the pressure on a rubber, I mean the balloon, and top and bottom, what will happen? Your balloon can increase front and back because the pressure is going on. Okay, the back and front, the volume can extend, but front and top and bottom, it loses some space. So because the pressure going on, so that areas only you have to maintain the space top and bottom. Okay, yes. Then this is path of action, and this is my text, and this is again the text. Let us check here. See, the ball here, it is coming from outside. Suppose if you extend this path, it is coming from outside. If you extend this path, it is creating this, and somewhere it's go outside. Okay, so here in this frame, the ball is in opposite direction. Maximum it reaches at its own height. Okay, here the top areas here, because it is opposite to gravity, gravity is here, the ground line here, the ball is already reached there, the top position, according to that the pressure taken from the earth, it reached the top position, and it is again dropping down because the gravity force pulling down, this ball is coming down. Okay, here the ball shape is changing slowly from round to maximum oval shape. Okay, it is indicating, suppose here the ball shape must be exact round, should maintain the exact round, and slowly, because of the path, you observe the path here, the slope is here, the more slope is there, here the maximum roundness, and slowly it is changing, it is changing its roundness to bit egg shape, and slowly it is more egg shape, and here more oval shape, and maximum stretched. So that means what? The slopeness is more here, the more slopeness is here, this area the ball action will be more faster. The ball action will be more faster. To indicate the fastness, velocity, speed, we are giving the shape as oval shape. Okay, extended oval shape, and here it is touching down. Okay, here the action is delaying means because it is opposite gravity reached their top position, here the action will be slower. So if you observe by this, onion skin will understand this. See this, if you observe this, here the ball frames are very close, the ball frames are very close. See, here to here, here to here, here to here, here to here. Slowly it is gaining speed. To understand that, we maintain increased space. See, space is increasing, here to here bit it is increased, and here to here bit increased, it is more increased, more increased, increased. So the same way here also, it is after hitting down, it is bouncing into air again. Here it is bouncing into air. So after dropping here, because of the rubber material, after hitting the ground, it is bouncing into air, and here the ball is flattening. So here it is squash or recoil. The squashness with the force, it is touching ground, it is the shape is flattened, squash or recoil. After recoiling, it is bouncing into air, so it is getting into a stretch ball shape. That stretch ball shape, slowly it is getting into egg shape. From the egg shape, it is again changed to full round shape, like at this area. Okay, here the ball shapes are perfect round, they are in perfect round. After hitting here, the ball stretching, and the stretch shape is slowly getting into egg shape, from egg shape to bit egg shape, bit normal, and here normal, and here it is normal. And observe the spacing here, slowly spacing. Here the frames are more, the more frames you are giving means the action will be slow. Observe here, more space, more frames, not more space, more frames with less space you are maintaining balls means the action will be slower. And lose space means more space you are maintaining, that means your action will be faster. So here the action bit slower, and here slower, and this area slower, but here the medium speed, here fast speed and medium speed, and here it is very fast. And after hitting, after jumping into air, again it is dropping down and hitting here, okay, hitting the floor, and it is again flattened or squash or recoil, and again it is bouncing into air. Here the ball is stretched ball is getting into egg shape and a normal and perfect round. From perfect round to again it is dropping down. Why it is dropping down? Because the earth gravity is pulling down. Okay, then after that, because this is our camera area only, the rollers indicated, so after that the ball may jump into air, it takes one more, and somewhere it settles, stopped somewhere. That is action, the bouncing ball action, but we are taking within this camera only. Okay, so the action is here. This is very important thing. If you are, if you want to understand properly the bouncing ball, the few things you have to understand. You are maintaining more drawings with less space means the action will be slow, slower action, slow action, slow action. Less frames, more space. Less frames with more space means the action will be very faster. Okay, according to the Newton formula, the force gravity, okay, and after hitting this, it is jumping into air, because the force applied somewhere hits the ball, it is jumping into air, and here because of the opposite to gravity, the ball action will be very slow and pulling down and hitting floor, and it is uh, jumping into air. Here the action will be slower and again hitting here and again into air, and somewhere it is good. So this is bouncing ball. Okay, here we understand this. Stretch and squash. What is stretch and squash? Already I explained you. The stretchness of the ball here. The ball is the distorting the ball shape. Here the changing the ball shape. If you maintain the same round ball here also, we cannot see the speedness of the ball, the velocity of the ball, the speed of the ball. We cannot see the ball speed. So the distortion of this ball shape, if you use here, then we'll understand the speed of the ball. So that is the stretchness. Here, 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 and here this is squash. Squash or flatten or recoil, these are the same. Okay, after hitting, it is flatten and again it is jumping. Okay, that is stretch and squash. And here timing and spacing. Already explained you path of action. This is path. The lines are showing ball is moving in particular path, that is path. And here if you observe timing and spacing. What is timing and spacing? This is very, very important in animation. With the timing and spacing only, all the actions will change according to their the material and given space. Here the timing means and spacing means, the spacing is nothing but between balls or otherwise between frames, how much gap you are leaving, that is the spacing of the ball, spacing of the action. So this is your entire bouncing ball action. So between each frame, somewhere very less space you have maintained, somewhere average space, somewhere more space you maintained according to that your path and principle. Your maintaining space between drawings or frames is called spacing. So between each ball, each frame, we must give some space, that is called spacing. And what is timing? Timing means, so easily you will understand, the timing means ball entering and leaving time. Suppose at this, the first frame, the ball is here, entering into frame and dropping, flattening here and jumping into air and again touching ground and jumping into air and leaving out. So here to here, here to here, how much time it is taking to enter and to leave this room, that is called a timing of the action, timing of the bouncing ball. Okay, so how you measure that? By seeing your timeline here. This is your timeline. See here indicating 65 and other frame 67. See the current frame rate is 67. So here the showing 2.8 seconds. Your time is, see, here to here, this is 1 second and this is another second, this is n second. So that means what? 2.8 seconds. That is. So actually this is my action. So here I am indicating with the black frames. These are the actual key frames. But before that, I am leaving 24 or 25 or at least 26 few frames. I am leaving empty frames, because see here there are no balls, so empty frames only. I'm keeping, and after that action, after the ball, I'm maintaining a few empty frames. Why? Because if you don't leave this gap here and here, the ball action will be continuously, it loops. Suppose your ball can continuously play without registering audience eyes, without registering your eyes. Even they don't know, they don't understand what is happening, because there is a no gap, continuously the action is happening. See, because the continue frames, and after that it is connecting to first frame, and last reached and connecting to first frame, continuously is happening. So there will be a confusion for the audience to understand what is happening. First we have to understand the room. So before entering ball, audience, they focus on the background. Oh, there is a, suppose, yeah, 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 there is a room, dark green wall, and this gray color floor. Okay, up to 1 second, because here the ball is not coming. So we are allowing, if you play this, we are allowing these frames to understand for the audience. Oh, this is a room. It takes for 1 second to hold that camera on the same empty frame, then ball enters. Oh, on the empty room, the ball is coming from outside and hitting ground, taking bounces and bounce and going out. So after leaving this ball, this room, we are maintaining few frames empty. Okay, here 1 second at least, to here the few frames, and after that it is because of the cycle, so it is allowing to understand your background. See, now on the empty background, ball is entering and leaving. It is very easy to understand. So that is the reason we are maintaining 1 second of empty frames here, at least 8 frames of empty frames after leaving. So this is the way. Okay, and now I told you with this assignment we are learning stretch and squash, timing and spacing, and path of action. So once again I'm clearing. So this is path of action, okay, and stretch and squash. Stretch and squash is the ball stretchness and squashness. Okay, here it is, the ball getting distortion here. This is the stretch shapes, and here the flatten image, the flattened shapes, that is squash or recoil. And spacing is between each frame how much gap you are leaving between each frame, that is spacing. And timing means for entering ball and leaving ball, entering into room and leaving the room, the ball how many frames it is taking, that is called timing of the bouncing ball action. So finally, with all the blank frames and ball frames and again empty frames, it is taking here 67 frame. 67 frame means per second 24 frames. So here to here in timeline it is indicating 1 second, because 24 frames here, the gray box it is showing. Here to here again one other second, so 2 seconds, 2 seconds and 8 frames. These are okay. That is timing of the bouncing ball action. Okay, so let us play this by pressing Control Enter. Yeah, now observe here. The shades also we have to follow, because on bouncing ball, light is focusing on the top edge of the ball. So accordingly, light source, according to that light source in opposite direction with the main ball action, shade also can move. Okay, I'll explain how to do shades and all after getting the main action. I'll explain how to do a shade. Okay, so this is the bouncing ball assignment. So what is the purpose of learning this? Here bouncing ball means, if you observe this, in the same principle we use human jumping. Suppose humans can jump, suppose from the, there is a swimming board, there is a board, from there you are jumping into swimming pool. Here your body can stretch. Here you stretch your hands and legs and you are diving into pool. Okay, and you can settle somewhere because you are not ball. Okay, after jumping you may swim, or otherwise if it is not swimming pool, you are jumping from somewhere to on floor. So here the action will be stretch and hit here, and you can stand, settle here. You can stand here after jumping. Here you can settle here. Okay, the same way cat jumping and dog jumping and tiger jumping, all the mostly, and frog jumping, we use the same principle for this most of the animal jumpings. Suppose the frog jumping here, the frog bounces, bouncing, bounces. So the same way cat jumping, rat, not a rat, this one, your tiger jumping and dog jumping, it jumps, stretches here, the body stretches here and support the ground and again will jump. So cat jumping and leave this in. So this is the same principle we apply for mostly humans, all the animal jumpings. Okay, so that is the reason we are learning this. Okay, with this we are learning stretch and squash, timing and spacing, and path of action. Okay, so any animation college or animation institute throughout the world, around the globe, that teach you this bouncing ball animation, it is because it is very, very important for the animation student. So the same principle in real time we apply, and in animation also. Okay, so this is the look like a theory, but tomorrow I'll explain practically how to do this. Okay, so you follow this, try to understand this the principle and check yourself. Tomorrow I'll explain the practical bouncing ball, and you study now, and if you have any doubt please ask. Thank you.